Bienvenidos a otra sesión de su curso de inglés para bienes raíces. Esta sesión se trata acerca de las partes de una propiedad. Recuerden que este curso también es para property managers. Así que si tú trabajas en la industria o si trabajas en una inmobiliaria, entonces este curso es para ti. Tenemos los bienes raíces, parts of a property. En la clase de hoy vamos a empezar con el calentamiento. Tenemos unas preguntas. Para responder estas preguntas vamos a ver la información de hoy. Tenemos dos preguntas que nos hacen acerca de las características de un survey, land survey. Así que vamos a ver un land survey el día de hoy. Y también nos hacen una pregunta acerca de la property line. Así que el día de hoy tenemos aquí un email que vamos a ver de el trabajador que se encarga de los land surveys. Se llaman surveyors. Tenemos un nuevo land survey para sus clientes. Y parece que le mandé unos resultados aquí con el email de hoy. Lo vamos a escuchar. Vamos a sacar el vocabulario. Y tú también lo debes de leer en voz alta. Después de sacar el vocabulario que ven aquí en colores más oscuros, que se ve aquí en las imágenes, vamos a trabajar dos ejercicios de vocabulario y unos ejercicios de speaking, de escuchar, junto con el guión, una conversación con un agente de real estate, con un prospecto, como lo hacemos en nuestras clases siempre. Así que acompáñame para empezar con esta asesoría de parts of a property. Parts of a property lo vamos a hacer todo completamente en inglés. Así que recuerda que tú puedes pausar este video, puedes regresarle, puedes sacar el material aquí en la plataforma junto con los audios para que hagas los ejercicios a tu ritmo y a tu nivel. Ok, ¿listos? Unit 5. Parts of a property. In today's session, we have an email about a land survey and about property lines. We're going to read the email, we're going to listen, and we're also going to do a couple of vocabulary exercises with today's vocabulary list. Welcome to another session of your real estate English course. In today's class, we have parts of a property. To get started, we have some questions. Get ready. Before you read the passage, talk about these questions. What are some qualities or features that a land survey might mention? Number 1, what are some qualities, what are some features that a land survey might mention? A land survey. Have you guys heard of a land survey if you work in real estate? If you work at a real estate agency? What does a land survey mention? Put your answer in a notebook, prepare your answers because we have another question. What is the importance of knowing the exact location of a property line? So these are two questions. We have two questions for today's class. Number 1, what are some qualities or what are some features that a land survey might mention? Land survey. Put this question in your notebook. We're going to check out an email that's going to help you answer the question. Number 2. Why is it so important? Knowing the exact location of a property line. The exact location of a property line. Why is that important? And I guess number 1 we can have in the land survey property lines. Some qualities. Number 1, property lines. I'll put PL, property lines. Here's the land survey. You can see the property lines. Let's look at today's email so you can get some ideas. Listen. And follow along with your eyes. Listen and follow along. We have an email from the land surveyor. They do the land surveys.
Unit 5, Parts of the Property. Exercise 5, page 13.
From Mindy Thomas, Surveyor. To Joe Brown, Assistant Surveyor. Subject, New Survey. Hi, Joe. We need to perform a new survey of a piece of farmland. The existing meets and bounds description is outdated. Over time, some monuments have shifted. For example, a large rock moved several feet down a hillside. It used to mark a property line. Now it's on a neighboring property. In addition, some natural turning points in the survey no longer exist. One of these is a stream that dried up decades ago. We need the survey to reflect the land today. The survey also references some iron stakes as turning points. Unfortunately, a previous owner apparently removed these artificial monuments. We need to place new stakes as points of reference. Mindy.
Excellent reading. Now I'm going to help you guys and I'm going to read it out loud and show you exactly how you're supposed to read it, just to practice. That way we can practice the vocabulary. This is an email from Mindy Thomas, surveyor, to Joe Brown, the assistant surveyor. The subject of the email is a new survey. The email reads, "Hi, Joe. We need to perform a new survey of a piece of farmland. The existing meets and bounds description is outdated. Over time, some monuments have shifted. For example, a large rock moved several feet down a hillside. It used to mark a property line, now it's on a neighboring property. In addition, some natural turning points in the survey no longer exist. One of these is a stream that dried up decades ago. We need the survey to reflect the land today. The survey also references some iron stakes as turning points. Unfortunately, a previous owner apparently removed these artificial monuments. We need to place new stakes as points of reference. Mindy. Okay, it looks like it's responsibilities for the assistant surveyor. Okay, so let's look at the features that are included in the land survey. Points of reference, artificial monuments, turning points, all this is in the land survey. Natural turning points. See, that's the turning points. We have artificial monuments, natural monuments, the neighboring property. Mark the property line, natural monuments, artificial monuments, the meets and bounds description, meets and bounds, and obviously the whole survey, like a study. Okay. This is our vocabulary list for today. Now let's see if you can practice with these questions. What are some qualities or features that a land survey might mention? Property lines, neighboring property, natural monuments, artificial monuments, turning points. Excellent. What is the importance of knowing the exact location of a property line? I didn't pay attention for that answer. Let's see. Property line. It used to mark a property line as an area on property, a large amount of additions and turning points. Doesn't say. But what's your opinion? What is your opinion of the exact location of the property lines? Is that important? I think it's very important knowing the exact location of a property line because the price of the property, if you buy or sell, it depends on the size of the property, right? Different location of property line, different size. Property, if you move the property lines, different sizes, different prices. That's my opinion. That's why it's important. What's your opinion? Answer this question. Take your time and give me your opinion of why it is important knowing the exact location of a property line. Next, we have some questions about the reading. True or false? The meets and bounds description contains incorrect information. The existing meets and bounds description is outdated. Outdated. Vocabulary. When the information is outdated, the information is incorrect because it changed. So it is incorrect. Used to. In the past, used to. A rock moved. The monuments shifted. Moved, shifted. Used to be, used to mark. It is outdated. It is outdated. So the information is incorrect. Number 2, a rock is currently located at the property line. No, the rock moved. Now it's in the neighboring property. It's not the property line. A rock is currently located at the neighboring property. So this is false. True. False. It's at the neighboring property. Next door with the neighbors. A previous owner removed some artificial monuments. Number 3. Correct. Unfortunately, a previous owner removed these artificial monuments, which are stakes. Iron stakes. Let's see if we can see some iron stakes in Google. Remember, this email is about a piece of farmland in the country. The iron stakes, they look like fences. They mark the property line, or sometimes is so the cows or the horses don't escape your property. Iron stakes, also known as property irons, monuments. You see these little ones? Here's the iron stakes. Monuments. These, see, right next to the fence. Usually, they have them next to the fence. When it's a big property, if they don't have a fence, they'll have property, corner, how to find property line markers. This is for the land survey. You can check out a video on YouTube, finding your property pins. Property line stakes. So we need to place new stakes. A previous owner removed these, which are artificial monuments. They're not natural, they're artificial. This is what they look like in United States or in Canada, for example. England. It just depends on the place where you live. Number 3 is true. A previous owner removed some artificial monuments, some iron stakes, some property stakes. In today's vocabulary exercise, match the words or phrases with the definitions. Artificial, survey, neighboring, monument, turning point. Not occurring naturally. Okay, definition A. Not natural. Not occurring naturally. What is the vocabulary? Artificial. Artificial. It's not natural. Touching something, bordering or touching something. What's the people next to you touching your property? Neighboring. The neighbors are touching. A particular location that is noted in a land survey. What do you think? Because we also have where two boundary lines meet. The turning point and the monument are locations. The survey is the complete description of the piece of land and its boundaries. The land survey. And the monument and turning point are locations in the land survey. And neighboring is the vocabulary to say it's next to you and it's touching your property. Artificial, it's not natural. Okay, here's the two locations. Purple, blue, the survey. Neighboring, when it's touching. And artificial, it's not natural. Excellent exercise. Fantastic. Now we have another vocabulary exercise. In this vocabulary exercise, we have the reference, meets and bounds description, meets and bounds description, natural, and the property line. We have to use this correctly. The man referred to the official to find the edge of the property. Okay, in the land survey, we have the official section called meets and bounds description. In this section of the land survey, you can find the details of the property lines. The property line is the edge of the property. The edge of the property is marked by the surveyor. He puts the stake right at the property line. That's how you mark it. Mark the property line. So in order to mark the property line, the surveyor placed a string between two stakes. You see the string? Look at the strings, look at the stakes. Number 3. The woman used to rock as a... The rock, what is the rock? Big rocks can be references. Especially big rocks, because they're very hard to move. Big natural landmarks. Natural landmarks, for example, rocks, rivers, or streams. They can change position over time, but it takes a lot of years. So they use them as references. Natural landmarks, like rocks and streams, are likely to change position over time. Practice this vocabulary exercise and complete the sentences. Read the sentences. Make sure you read these sentences so you can also practice the vocabulary. We have 4 sentences right here with today's vocabulary. Now, I have a question for you. What natural turning point no longer exists in our farmland where we're doing the land survey? What natural turning point no longer exists? Listen to the email. Here's your answer. A stream. A stream is like a small river. Here's a stream right on the property line. Whoa, this one's beautiful. It's like a small river. Like a river. Here's one right here on the property. Streams. Something that happens with streams is they can dry up. Of course, no rain. They dry up. So now the stream is gone. No longer exists. I have a conversation here with the real estate agent and a prospective buyer. The real estate agent and the prospective buyer. Listen to a conversation and mark the following statements as true or false. Here it is. Listen to the conversation. You can find this conversation on the platform. Rewind it and listen to it many times.
Exercises 6 and 7, page 13.
6 and
So,
7.
I just received the official survey for the property you're interested in. Unfortunately, the property line isn't where we thought it was.
Really? So the stake in the ground isn't the right reference?
No, the person who placed that stake made a mistake. The original monument is actually a large rock.
So what does that mean?
The real boundary is about 8 meters south.
Oh no, I was really hoping to build a swimming pool on the property.
Well, that might still be possible, but you would have to modify the design.
I'll need to perform some calculations. Then I can decide whether to buy the property or not.
Certainly.
Number 1. The property is smaller than the speaker's thought. The property is smaller. Lesson.
Oh, I just received the official survey for the property you're interested in. Unfortunately, the property line isn't where we thought it was.
Really?
The property line is not where we thought it was.
So the stake in the ground isn't the right reference.
So the stake in the ground is not the right reference.
No, the person who placed that stake made a mistake. The original monument is actually a large rock.
So what does that mean?
The real boundary is about 8 meters south.
8 meters smaller. In the direction of the south.
Oh no, I was really hoping to build a swimming pool on the property.
So, obviously, it's not bigger. It's smaller. This is all bad news. Number 2, a stake in the ground correctly marks the edge of the property. No. The person made a mistake. This one is incorrect. So, incorrectly. Yeah, there is a stake in the ground, but incorrectly marks the edge of the property. The correct is a big rock. South, 8 meters south of the stake. The man advised the woman not to build a swimming pool on the property.
Well, that might still be possible, but you would have to modify the design.
I'll need to perform some calculations.
No, the man advised to change the design of the swimming pool. The man wants to design or advise to change the design of the swimming pool. Here's the conversation for homework. Look at the conversation and listen to the agent and listen to the buyer.
For the property you're interested in. Unfortunately,
They're talking about the land survey. Super important topic to talk about with your clients. Make sure you get the PDF here on the platform. Make sure you get the audio. In the next class, we're going to check our answers and we're going to do the speaking. You play the agent and I play the prospective buyer. And then we have an email. So you can send an email to your prospective buyers about the land surveys. Fantastic.